My name is Daniel Matt, and I never intended to be in the water that day. As a wildlife photographer who has specialized in big cats for the past decade, I have built my reputation on capturing intimate moments in the lives of these magnificent animals without interfering in their world. My photographs for National Geographic, BBC Wildlife, and various conservation publications are all founded on maintaining a safe, respectful distance, partly for the animals' well-being, as human presence can disrupt natural behaviors, but mostly for my own safety. Lions are not known for their fondness of humans splashing around in their territory. That commitment to non-intervention would be tested beyond anything I could have imagined on a sweltering afternoon in Botswana's Okavango Delta. The day began routinely enough. For nearly 3 weeks, I had been tracking a specific pride, a dominant male with unusually light coloration, 4 females, and 3 cubs about 4 months old. This particular family had become somewhat habituated to vehicles, allowing me to observe them from my specialized photography jeep. One female cub had inherited the palest coat of all, appearing almost golden in the afternoon sun. I had been positioned near a small tributary since dawn. As midday's oppressive heat settled, the lions retreated to the shade of acacia trees. With them settled for their rest, I decided to retrieve equipment from my second vehicle parked a quarter-mile downstream. A fallen log at a narrow point served as a natural bridge I'd used before. What I didn't know was that recent rains had weakened the log's structural integrity. A sickening crack sounded beneath my feet. Before I could react, I was plunged into the surprisingly deep water. I am a strong swimmer, but as I surfaced, my foot became entangled in submerged branches. The more I struggled, the more firmly I was trapped, my waterlogged backpack pulling me downward. After shedding the pack, my ankle remained caught. Panic rose as my lungs burned. It was then I noticed movement on the shoreline. Through water-blurred vision, I saw the male lion standing alert at the water's edge, his attention fixed on my struggles. The females were also tense, observing the thrashing human in their territory. My situation was catastrophic, risk of drowning, and if I freed myself, emerging directly before predators. During one desperate resurface, I saw a small shape separate from the pride, the pale, golden cub. To my astonishment, she stepped into the shallows with clear purpose and began paddling toward me. Some instinct told me to remain still as she approached. She maneuvered behind me toward my trapped ankle. I felt a tug, then sharp little teeth against my skin, not biting me, but the branch that ensnared me. A moment later, I felt a release. My foot was free. The cub resurfaced, looked at me with what I could only interpret as expectation, and began swimming toward shore. I followed. As we neared the shallows, fresh fear gripped me. The adult lions remained in position, watching. I hesitated in chest-deep water. Sensing this, the cub did something that still haunts my dreams. She turned back, re-entered the water, and gently pawed at my arm as if to encourage me onward. With no alternative, I continued until my feet touched solid ground. The cub stayed beside me as we emerged. I stood dripping less than 30 yards from lions fully capable of ending my life in seconds. The male took a deliberate step forward. The females tensed. Then, the cub positioned herself between me and the male, making a soft, non-threatening chuffing sound. The male paused. What followed defies conventional understanding. The cub approached the male, rubbing against his leg, then trotted back and rubbed against mine. The male lion sat down, his posture alert but not aggressive. After a suspended moment, the cub bounded back to the pride. The male rose, gave me one final inscrutable look, and followed. The entire pride moved unhurriedly back to their resting place, dismissing me as neither threat nor prey. Inside the safety of my jeep, delayed shock set in. I had nearly drowned and witnessed the impossible. Then I remembered the weatherproof GoPro on my chest harness. The footage was imperfect but unmistakable, it had captured the essential sequence. That night, reviewing it, I knew this challenged everything we understood about predator dynamics. Over the following days, I observed more inexplicable behaviors from the cub I now called Eyebrow for a distinctive dark marking. She once carried a piece of meat away from a kill, placed it on the ground, and looked toward my vehicle. On another day, I found her digging persistently. When the pride moved on, I investigated the spot. There, in a small depression, lay my lost memory card, clearly placed for recovery. My final day with the pride coincided with a territorial crisis. A coalition of 3 nomadic males challenged the resident male. As confrontation erupted, Eyebrow broke from her mother and darted directly to my vehicle. She vocalized urgently, then began leading me away, looking back expectantly. Against all protocol, I followed. She led me to a dense thicket where the females had gathered the other cubs. Their reaction to my presence was immediately defensive. Yet, after Eyebrow engaged in what seemed like directed communication with them, one adult female did the unthinkable. She turned her vulnerable side to me, looked at the retreating group, then back at me. The incredible message seemed to be, "Follow us." For nearly 3 hours, we shared that sanctuary, wild lions and a human, as sounds of conflict echoed outside. The adult male eventually returned, wounded but victorious. His initial aggression toward me subsided after another extraordinary intervention from Eyebrow. As a downpour began, I spent the night within feet of the pride, accepted in their space. Dawn brought a changed landscape. When I finally retreated to my vehicle to leave, Eyebrow approached one last time. She raised her paw in a gesture I could only see as farewell. The scientific community's reaction to my documentation was polarized. Many dismissed it as anthropomorphism. Others saw evidence of unprecedented cognitive capabilities. 3 years later, I lead a multidisciplinary research team studying this specific pride in the Okavango Delta. Eyebrow is now a young adult. She demonstrates unusual tolerance, though never again with the extraordinary behaviors of those few days. Our research now emphasizes individual variation in behavior over broad generalizations. We may never fully understand what happened. But I will never forget the lion cub who saved me from drowning and then showed me a world of animal cognition I never knew existed. Occasionally, when she looks in my direction during our observations, I feel that somewhere in her lion consciousness, she remembers.